Welcome, everyone. When you start arriving, let me know you're here. I should be able to tell as you pop in, but I won't necessarily know if you can hear and see me, so just let me know that you can hear and see me. Welcome. Find a nice, comfortable spot on your mat. Just allow yourself to come into your center, into your yoga practice. I'm going to take a peek and see who's here. Jillian, hello, welcome. Hi, Terry and Barb, welcome. Go ahead and make yourself comfortable, seated, maybe do a little bit of stretching or just relax and take it all in. As long as you can hear and see me, we should be good to go. Give it a few more minutes. 3 more to be exact. Thank you for joining me today. I like to just kind of sit in my own space before a class and just get my center, my calm. Breathe, focusing on the breath, allowing the breath to reach every part of our being. And however it is for you to get into your yoga practice. I have a reading that I'll be doing from The Language of Letting Go, Melody Beattie. I'm really enjoying that book. It's actually a daily devotional, so I flip around. I obviously don't do, what's today, April 21st? No, we're not doing April 21st. This is our 4th Tuesday class. We've been doing this for 5 weeks. Don't think I did the 24th of March, but I did the 23rd of March, Monday night. And so we actually did, last night was 5 weeks already. Kind of crazy. But it's working out. I'm glad you all can join me. I'm going to take one more peek up and see who else is joining. Oh boy. I think that is, I'm not seeing a name. Oh, I am. Hi, Robin. Hi, Miffy. Some of you I know have not been able to say that you're on, and it just clicks your camera off. So I don't know if that's me or you. Oh, I see you, Robin. Welcome. Okay, so we will get started. I have 9:30, sitting tall and getting into your own space. I have a reading from The Language of Letting Go, Melody Beattie. Really enjoying this book. And today it's about appreciating ourselves. We are the greatest thing that will ever happen to us. Believe it, it makes life much easier. It is time to stop this nonsense of running around picking on ourselves. We may have walked through much of our life apologizing for ourselves, either directly or indirectly, feeling less valuable than others, believing that they know better than we do, and believing that somehow others are meant to be here and we are not. We have a right to be here. We have a right to be ourselves. We are here. There is a purpose, a reason, and an intention for our life. We do not have to apologize for being here or for being who we are. We are good enough and deserving. Others do not have our magic. We have our magic. It is in us. It doesn't matter what we've done in our past. We all have a past woven with mistakes, successes, and learning experiences. We have a right to our past. It is ours. It has worked to shape us and form us. As we progress on this journey, we shall see how each of our experiences will be turned around and used for good. We have already spent too much time being ashamed, being apologetic, and doubting the beauty of ourselves. Be done with it. Let it go. It is an unnecessary burden. Others have rights, but so do we. We are neither less than nor more than. We are equal. We are who we are. That is who we were created and intended to be. That, my friend, is a wonderful gift. So, keeping all that in your mind as we go through our yoga practice, the beauty of yourself, the beauty of who you are. Let's roll our shoulders just to loosen them up. So you can roll them back as much as you can and down before we let them come forward. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I know this is a challenging move for some of us. And then let's have our hands, see if we can have our hands on our thighs. Bring the shoulders forward, bring them back. When we bring them back, go ahead and lift the heart a little higher. Squeeze the shoulder blades back as much as you can. And then forward and then back. A few more times. I'm coming up. I want to see who else joined us. Okay, so it's kind of interesting how people pop off. Forward and back. Good. And then let's go ahead and release our legs. Let those legs shake out. And then we're going to cross again. First, let's find our sit bones. So we'll rock side to side, find the sit bones, as if we're perched on the sit bones, and maybe getting a little more length in the spine, right? So we're going to cross our legs once again, however you want. And so this is to wake up the root chakra, right? So the root chakra, the base of the tailbone, take ourselves around in this direction and then lengthen right to the center. And then we'll circle around, keep our arms and hands relaxed on our thighs or our knees gently, and then come up. Good. And then reverse and come up. So we're leading with our heart here. So let me turn to the side so you can see what we're doing, right? So we're not curling forward. I'd like you to keep your heart lifted and lead to the one side, to the front, right? So straight spine as much as you can, and to the other side and back. So sort of lead with the heart. And we're reversing the direction. Keep our shoulders back and down as much as you can. Really work on that. Nice, long, straight spine. We all have our natural curves in our spine. So straight doesn't mean straight, ramrod straight, right? It means that we have our natural curves, but we want a long, strong spine. circle, and as we circle in one direction, we come to the center and lengthen even more, lifting the heart, lifting the chin, reaching through the crown of the head. And then inhale halfway around, exhale all the way up tall. We'll do this a few more times. Inhale, exhale. So again, the root chakra, great exercise for the root chakra, giving us stability in our yoga, stability in our lives, stability on our mat, stability today. Think of really growing our roots and rising up. And then let's hold here. And as with any of our poses and flows in our yoga, do what's right for you. Or maybe we did about 20 of those, so maybe 10 was enough. Really, it's all about how you're feeling. All right, so we're already going to all fours. Take ourselves to all fours, spreading our fingers out, breathing, and taking cat and cow here. Enjoying the journey, right? So we're pulling our belly in as we curl our spine. Our tailbone goes down. Hi, Deb. As our head goes down, and then our tailbone goes up. As our head goes up, right? Arching and curling. Initiating this from the belly, right? So pull the belly in, exhale, curl, pull the belly in, inhale, arch. And then what I like to do is take ourselves down to our forearms and continue with the cat and cow. And then this allows us to just work with the spine rather than the shoulders that want to get involved when we're on our hands, right? So we want the elbows just below our shoulders. Find that curl, even if it feels like it's less of a range of motion, which it most likely is, but it's maybe more range of motion with this actual spine. Keep breathing, keep using the core. So we keep laced up through that corset throughout the whole class. But as we move, we pull it in a little more, a little stronger as we move from pose to pose, initiating from the corset. Okay, so we'll take ourselves here, staying on our forearms. We're going to take our left arm under, stretching through the back of the shoulder. We can adjust if you want. You can take your head down just lightly. You can adjust your hips. Where are you feeling the stretch? Breathe. Remember to breathe. Keep your core engaged and keep smiling. Keep smiling. Let's slide that arm out. We're going to reach it up, spreading the fingers. And let's take it back onto our hip or our glute. Relax it back and then open up. Bring that shoulder back. Keep strong. Keep breathing. Do what you can. And let's go ahead and lower down. We'll take it to the other side, right? First, reaching that arm out. And then under. And releasing. Stretch is really great for the shoulder, but you may feel it through the neck and through the back. It's wonderful for that whole area. Wherever you're tight, you may feel that you need to breathe into those areas to release them. And that's exactly what I want you to do. Keep breathing slowly, smoothly. So as we inhale, smoothly to an exhale, focusing on the breath. And then let's slide this arm out, reaching, and then bring that hand back to our hip, relaxing that arm and hand down. And let's open up here. It's not a big move. See if you can bring that shoulder back, keeping strong. Keep smiling, keep laughing. Smooth inhale and smoothly going into your exhale. Good. Let's come back to our forearms, spreading our fingers, pressing into our fingers, and then let's come to all fours. We're going to slide our hands back so they're underneath our shoulders, and then taking our hips side to side. So our little puppy shake. So we have enough space between our forearms and our thighs. That's as long as our spine is, right? So if there's only 8 inches between our forearms and our thighs, our spine is a lot longer than 4 inches. And this is causing already our spine to curl. Mine is definitely curled here, right? So and what I want is for us to go into a down dog that's really right for our body. So get that space between your forearm and your thighs, and then let's go to our down dog, rolling the toes under and pressing up. Breathing. Let's shift the tailbones over a little higher. Now your heels may not go down at all. You can also use a blanket under your heels so that your heels are on something. We're keeping our knees slightly bent here. Let's pull the belly in and take ourselves back down and stretching. Reaching the hips back, reaching the arms forward. If we keep the elbows lifted here, we'll get a nice stretch, perhaps through and around the shoulder, the pectoral muscles, the lats. And then come back up. So I'd like us to do what's called a dolphin, which is like a down dog, but it's on our forearms. So if you want to try this, go ahead and try it. If you don't, go back to down dog or just hang here in child's pose, right? You can be back in child's pose. So we'll take our forearms down, elbows just below the shoulders. Make sure the shoulders are wide though, not hunched, right? So you may have to, once you bring the shoulders down away from your ears, you may have to widen your shoulders or bring them in closer, right? We want nice long neck here. Let's roll our toes under, press through the hands, and lifting. This may be easier on your wrists, of course, right? You may not get the heels down towards the floor, even more so. We're resting our head between our arms. Knees stay soft, keep the belly pulled in, breathing, inhaling, smoothly exhaling. Pull the belly in tighter. Let's bring ourselves down to our knees and reach forward once again for a stretch. So a lot more challenging for our shoulders, right? Easier on our wrists. So we're stretching back, breathing. And then let's go ahead and come back to all fours. Let's go to our down dog, and we're making our way to standing. So if you'd like to get there sooner, we'll meet you in mountain pose. So finding our down dog, shifting the pelvis, maybe getting a little more stretch through the hamstrings, the head resting between the arms. And then bending the knees, look towards the front of the mat and walk 2 or 4 or 6 steps towards the front of the mat, holding in our forward fold. I'd like you to melt right over your legs here. In our forward fold, we're really strong through the core. So, right, if you have any back issues, sometimes going into a forward fold or an arch can be challenging. So really do what's right for your body. Here we're just melting over our legs. We're breathing. We're strong through the core. Let the head drop. Maybe we feel a nice stretch through the spine. Just melt. Pressing into our feet and rolling up. Head comes up last. taking your time, particularly if you get lightheaded. I've always been one of those people. Sometimes it's hard to come from sitting to standing, or from our head being down below our heart. So listen to your body. You can do this class sitting in a chair too, right? Or stay sitting, or stay standing, just taking whatever pose you need. We can always adjust. Let's take an inhale, lifting up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Finding our mountain, pressing into our roots with the root chakra as well as with the feet. So we want to keep the knees slightly bent here. So I think you can see from the side, right? So I'm going to straighten my knees. My feet are parallel, right? I'm going to straighten my knees, and immediately pressure goes into my low back, right? So I don't know, it's almost not visible, but as soon as I bend my knees, I'm going to keep my belly in. Bend my knees just slightly, takes the pressure right off of my low back, right? So we want to keep the legs straight, but knees bent. We want to lengthen, as if we're pulling up both sides of the ribs, lifting the heart, shoulders back, mountain breathing. So you may want to check into your feet, make sure they're parallel, the two big toes straight ahead, the knees, the hips, the shoulders. And then mountain. So we're going to roll our right foot forward, rolling forward onto our toes, right? And this can be challenging, right? May take a few times. You may feel crunch, crunch, crunch. And if that is not hurting, just go with it if you want. May feel good after a while. We don't usually move in this direction, so you may be feeling a stretch at the top of the foot, the shin, not forcing anything, right? Yoga is just nice and smoothly moving into our poses and our flows, and that's exactly what this is, a flow, right? And then parallel our feet once again. Let's come up onto our right toe. It's just almost like we're not even touching the floor. Circling the hip, circling the knee, leading with the knee 3 times in one direction, 3 times in the other, and even here, initiating from the belly. Eventually, if you don't know what that means or how to do that, eventually you will, right? Because I'm always talking about it. Just pull the belly in. Now we're on our left toe. And then feel like we're zipping as we're circling. Zip. Bring that leg back to center. Zip. Let's circle in the other direction. Stay nice and tall. Keep lifting those ribs. Keep lifting the heart. And then lower down. Let's roll forward and back on our feet. A little massage for the bottoms of the feet. I think last week I suggested that you all have your spouses rub your feet. I hope you did that for your spouse, or your spouse did that for you. Not mentioning any names. And since I don't have one of those, I have to figure it out myself. I was going to say allow my dog to lick my feet, but I don't like that either. Rolling forward and back. So we may feel that strength building in our calves and our legs, all the way up to our hips, right? The whole body is working here, even though we're coming forward on our feet, forward and back. Good. Holding here, stationary. Let those muscles just release. If you feel the muscles getting fatigued, that's not a bad thing, right? But you also don't want to overdo it. Let's take our right foot out to the side. Everybody's different. We can't go very far here, right? Because our ankle doesn't really go in that direction. So again, not forcing anything. At the same time, we're pressing through our roots with our left foot. Let's take it to the other side. Just gently stretching the side of the leg. Not putting weight on it. The weight stays on the right foot through the roots, and then come back. Good. All right, we'll take our feet wide, And then not so wide. I mean, they can be wider than the hips, but maybe not as wide as the mat. And we're just going to sort of swing our arms here. This I like to do for our adrenal glands, right? So just, if you can, go ahead and let that hand just hit sort of right where the kidneys and adrenal glands are. The adrenals just above the kidneys, and or anywhere on the spine, right? So our adrenals are probably all working overtime for us during this time in our lives. And hopefully we'll be having a glass of wine and laughing about it. In person, by the way, where we can touch each other and hug each other in real life. So now, just kind of letting the arms swing, right? Not forcing anything. And then we're going to get the heels lifted as we swing. So kind of massaging the adrenal glands, right? Giving them a little bit of a break. Letting centrifugal force kind of bring those arms around. Right? Careful about swinging too much or letting our eyes go side to side might cause us to be dizzy. So again, doing what's right for you. And then let's hold here. Good. Feet are still a little bit wide. Let's take ourselves up. Remember, the knees are soft to help support the back and give the back a little bit of a break. Our arms are reaching up, our shoulders back. Bend the knees a little more, engage and zip up the core. We'll take both arms to one side. Let's take that left shoulder back. So here, still lifting both sides of the ribs, still lengthening the spine and lifting the heart. Reach, pull the belly in, press through both sets of roots. Pull the belly in tighter, come back to the center, other side, reach. So we can pull the belly in by zipping, right? That big zipper in our rectus abdominis, or we can tighten that corset. If your shoulders get tired, if this is too much for your arms and shoulders, you can lower your arms. Keep pressing through the feet, keep breathing, sending the breath wherever you need to. And then pull the belly in tighter. Let's come back. Sometimes sending the breath to our mind, to our brain, saying, listen, I can do this, right? So we'll bring our feet closer together and then reaching up. So taking yourself to chair pose. So that means we're sitting back, bringing our arms down, keep the chest and head lifted, right? And then come back up. We're going to do this up to 10 times. And we're using the breath. I like to call this fire breath. So keep pressing through the roots. I'll turn to the side so you can see. What we're not doing is bending and folding forward, okay? We are keeping our head and heart lifted and we're sitting our hips back, okay? So up to 10 times, let's exhale out. Inhale, reach, get that length. Exhale out. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Inhale as much as you can. Exhale. Inhale. This is one of the only breaths that we're really pressing out. Let it go. Ha. Come on up. Ha. Reach all the way up. Ha. Let it go. Keep the heart lifted. Use the core to lengthen up. Okay, I think that's 10 or 12 or 15, who knows? You know how I am about counting. Good. Roll our shoulders back, finding our mountain. Beautiful job. Let's just close our eyes. Remember that when we close our eyes, we do feel more movement. So think about the roots. Rather than the movement, think about the roots and the breath. Think about how your feet are growing roots deeper and wider. Our feet are solid into the earth. Think about the bottoms of the feet. And whatever sensations, we're working up all the energy pathways with our yoga. The energy pathways working all the way from head to toe through our fingertips, chakras of the spine. And then we help it along with a sun salutation. So let's take 3 sun salutations, standing sun salutations, waking up the spine, the whole body. When we fold forward, remember, pull the belly in a little tighter. Lengthen, pull the belly in. Folding, pressing, lifting, lengthening hands to heart center. 2 more on your own, or staying in mountain, and I'll meet you there. We'll all meet you there. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm drinking some water. And we'll meet in our mountain. Good. All right, for balance today, I wanted to work on our balance. So we've done this before. I believe all of us have. We'll take our knee up. We're going to star, knee up, warrior 3, knee up and down, okay? We'll do it together, and what I'd like you to try to do is have 3 slow, deep breaths in each part of the pose. And as we're breathing into our pose, right, we're checking in on our torso, we're checking in on that leg that's on the ground, right? Straight, knee soft. We're lifting the heart and we're sending the breath maybe to our roots, right? Thinking about the bottom of the foot. So let's go ahead and think about our roots. We're going to do this together. Pressing into our left roots a little more than the right as we lift the right knee. Feel free to reach the hands to the floor. Feel free to hold on or have something close by just for confidence. Sometimes just having it there helps with balance. We're pressing into the left roots. And then bringing our hands up into shape of a Y. Our leg comes out. Our center of gravity is still through that left leg. Breathe 3 deep breaths as we press into our roots. Think about the bottom of the foot and keeping that flat. That's where we want to make our corrections for our balance rather than in our bodies. Correct that balance, that movement from the bottoms of our feet. When you're ready, let's bring our palms so they're closer together, facing each other. Our knee comes forward. Keep pressing, keep breathing. Check into our core. Lift the heart. And then if you'd like, bringing our hands down, let's press to a warrior 3. Feel free to keep that back foot close to the floor. Keep the core nice and strong. And again, pressing into the left foot. I know this is a lot. When you're ready, coming back up, knee forward. And lower. So, just checking what happened on that side, right? Sometimes we hold our breath. Sometimes we don't think about our breath as much as we're thinking about the movement. Sometimes that fear, and that's why I'd rather have you have a chair close by or something to help you balance, because I do want you to strengthen the muscles, the balance muscles I like to call them, right? So let's press through the right foot roots, bring the left up. I know we didn't have our arms reaching up for the other side, but this may help with balance, right? 3 breaths. When you're ready, Y arms and press the left leg out. Going through all those points of reference, the bottom of the foot, the knee, the corset, the heart, the breath. When you're ready, coming back. 3 breaths. If you want warrior 3, always reconnect with the breath. And then knee forward. And lower down. Okay, so like I said, I know that was hard. I was doing 15 slow, deep breaths on one foot, right, as we move. So let's try it on the other side and doing any part of the pose that you want. Maybe you spend a little extra time in part of the pose. Maybe you like the star, maybe you just want to be in the knee, perhaps bringing the knee forward and back, right? Doing what is right for you, what feels right for you to really strengthen those balance muscles. Okay, before we lift a leg, I want you to grow the roots deeper and wider with the other side. And when you're ready. When you're ready for the other side, growing the roots first and lifting. Going at your own pace. I'm going to come and take a peek. Remember, when we do our balance, we want to focus on something that's not moving straight ahead or straight ahead on the floor, way ahead. Meeting in our mountain pose, feel free to close your eyes or focus on that drishti straight ahead and just going inside, feeling all the energy moving around your physical body inside. Picture blood going through all of our organs, our blood vessels, all the oxygen reaching every part of us, all our bodily functions happening without us even having to do anything. Bringing our hands back to heart center, and let's take 2 sun salutations on our own. Remember, initiating from the core. Bringing our hands up and over, stretching through the shoulders, lifting the chin as much as you can. Inhale and exhale back here. Let's do that again. Remember, full body at work here. Bringing arms up and over, reaching wide, shoulders down. Good. Now let's interlace our fingers. We'll press to the ceiling as we press into our roots, right? So we're rooting into the earth, rising up to the sky. Bringing our arms forward, stretching again through the back, through the shoulders and the arms. So releasing our fingers, and let's press back. This time, palms facing the back of the room, thumbs are down. Never forcing anything. Let's keep the chest lifted. Check the rest of the body. Knees, core. Pull the belly in tighter to release our arms forward. Good. Interlace the fingers, pressing forward here. Maybe getting the shoulders wider, the elbows wider. Perhaps feeling a stretch as if somebody is pulling us out this way, and we're holding on with our fingers, right? And getting that stretch, hopefully through here. Still lifting the heart, lifting the chin. Keep breathing. And then releasing. This time, spread the fingers, reach back. Stretching wide. Keep lifting the heart and the chin. Pull the belly in, bring our arms back to the center and lower down. Shake it out. Good. It's kind of just like we're wringing water off our fingers, right? Not too intensely, just shake it out. Let's get some rolls of the shoulders here. Taking our time, more rolling back than forward. Roll back. Good. Then let's take our hands to our hips and see if we can send our hips forward, lift our heart, bring our shoulders back, and stretching. Remember, only going into a back bend as much as is right for your back. And we're still laced up here. Pull the belly in and come forward. Rolling. Good. All right. Let's take ourselves down to our mat. So we're going to take an inhale. Fold forward. Just melt over our legs. Hands to the mat. Step back to a plank. Feel free to come onto your knees, and let's hold that plank for 3 breaths. And then coming onto our knees, let's press back to child's pose. If it feels good for you to bring your arms down alongside, palms facing up, just honor that in your body. As we go through the rest of our yoga class, honor whatever is happening with you today. Whatever it is, just love yourself, the beauty of yourself today, right? So we'll come forward. So we're going to do a little flow here. We're going to take a cat. I'll turn to the side once again. From our cat, we're going to curl back, keep the belly pulled in. And then let's see if we can arch into a cow to come up. Curl, reach back, arch, and come up. Good, let's do that one more time in this direction. Curl back, arch, come up. Good. Now let's keep the arch and then curl back and then curl here and roll forward. Come up to an arch, cow, reach back, then send the tailbone down, head down, and see if we can come up. Good. Do that one more time, no worries. If it feels weird or you're like, what the heck am I doing? No worries, right? Just kind of moving through the spine. And then let's once again come down to child's pose or puppy. It depends on where your hips go and whether you're curling the back or arching the back here. Just do what's right for you. We're coming forward now onto our bellies. Shaking those hips out. Nose towards the mat. Bringing our left arm out to the side. We can look to the left. We can rest our head on our right arm and hand. So the tops of the feet and the knees and thighs are facing the mat. Pull the belly in and let's lift and reach the left arm out to the side. Relax through the neck. And then lower. Let's do that again. Lift. This time, keep the belly pulled in, right? We're still pulling the belly in, even though we think gravity's doing the work. We're going to bring our hand back to our hip and then open up the shoulder here. If you'd like to lift your head, go ahead and do that. Stretching, breathing, strong through the core. Pull the belly in a little tighter and let's come back down. Bring that arm out to the side and switching sides. We'll take the right arm out, pull the belly in, and lift. Keep breathing, and then lower. Pull the belly in, let's lift, keep breathing, nice smooth breath, connecting the breath with the body. We're going to bring our arm back, release it back, and then if you'd like, to open up the shoulder and lift the head and shoulder, go ahead and do that. Remember, we're strong through the core. And then we'll lower down and slowly bring that head back here. So moving your hands forward a little so we can rest our forehead on our hands. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's go ahead and bend our legs, bend our knees. And we're just going to cross our ankles and cross our ankles. Just releasing through the legs. And then lengthening. Let's bend our left leg. And then open up that hip. Remember, we're pulling the core in first, only going where you can. This can be challenging. And then lower down. Let's take it to the other side. Bending, pressing, opening. Sometimes it's easier to use the arms out to the side. Feel free to do that. and sometimes doesn't always feel great through the chest, right? Everybody's different. And then let's lower. Hands right next to our chest, press back. Child's pose or puppy, but I'd like you to get as much of a stretch through the back, the hips, the shoulders as you can. Taking 3 breaths here. Coming forward onto our mats. So here, we're going to take ourselves down to a lying down position, but if you'd like to use a blanket to sit on, or if you have a ball at home, right, those Pilates balls, if you don't, I can deliver them to you, even if you're in Florida. Funny. Okay, so we'll take ourselves down. We're going to use it, by the way, for supported bridge, pillow, blanket, or a ball, whatever. So keep it handy. And I'm turning to the side again just so you can see where we are with this. We're going to hold here and slowly roll off the sit bones. See if we can visualize one vertebrae at a time going down to the mat. Flattening. Shoulders come down, head comes down, then walking our feet back so that our heels are below our knees. If they're out here and we lift, it's a lot more straining than is necessary. So we want to walk them back as far as we can, as long as your knees allow that. Hands out to the side, right? Shoulders down, and then pressing the hips up. Strong core. Shoulders taking the weight. Lift the heart, lift the hips, press into the feet. Bridge. Perhaps feeling a nice stretch through the hip flexors, through the thighs. So the hip flexor muscle goes around to the back. You may be feeling this in the back as well. It attaches to the front of the hip and to the lower back. Pulling the belly in, and let's lower down. Good. So let's do that again. Pressing. When we're in our bridge, you can also walk your feet closer together or closer to your hips. Just use your core and breathe here. And make sure that, see, our chin does come down some. We don't want to tuck the chin and have the chin touch the chest, right? So this is a great posture for our thyroid. Keep breathing. Remember, not too much weight on the head or neck. If you're finding there's too much, press into the shoulders. And then rolling down. Bridge pose is an energizing pose. So I'm getting you ready for the rest of the day. So let's go ahead, and if you have a blanket or a pillow or the ball, go ahead and place that under your hips. You can fold it over and get it higher. We want it under the hips, not under the tailbone or under the low back, but somewhere in between, right? So that we can, we don't want to feel as if our back is curling if the ball is too low, if the blanket or pillow is too low, or that our back is arching if it's too high on the lower back, right? So, and we can always make an adjustment. Let's go ahead and take our legs long, allowing them to just release and relax. Gentle, subtle stretch through the front body. One of my favorite breaths is the Ujjayi breath, the ocean breath. So you're inhaling and exhaling through the nose, but closing the back of the throat on the exhale. So it sounds like the ocean, or it sounds like as if you were holding a shell up to your ear. Let's go ahead and slide our legs back, adjusting your hips if you'd like, adjusting your shoulders if you'd like. We're going to take one leg up, stretch that leg as high as you can, reaching through the heel, toes are coming down towards your shin. If that leg is turning out a little, see if you can get the knee, shin towards your chest and shoulder, right? Everything is in line rather than having the knee turning out or the foot turning out. And straightening that leg as much as you can, even if it means lowering down here, right? Because there's a lot of tightness going on in our hips and our legs. So bringing that leg way up may be challenging. Pull the belly in a little tighter and then lower down. So right, being aware of where we are with our core. Let's take the right leg up, press through the heel, keep breathing. Make any adjustments that feel right for you. Lowering down. Feel free to adjust. We're going to lift both legs, but one at a time. So pull the belly in first, lifting, lengthening, and then other side, lifting and lengthening. Try to get those legs together, ankles together, top of the feet together, and the shins, the toes still coming down towards the shins, toes still straight ahead. Remember, you can always bend the knees a little if it feels better on your low back, or you can always lower, right? Maybe getting a little more strengthening. You have to keep the belly in tighter and feel those abdominal muscles work. You can do anything you want. Let's go ahead and lower down one foot and then the other, and once again, lengthening out. This also an energizing move. So is the legs up the wall. Breathing into it. And so, preparing for Shavasana. If you want to stay right where you are, you're welcome to. Or you can roll to one side, release the ball or the pillow. Finding your Shavasana. If you want one last pose or stretch, honor that in your body and your mind. Sometimes getting a nice twist here can release the back and the spine. As you prepare for your Shavasana, you may want to put on clothing, socks, jacket, hat, gloves, just kidding. And then finding your breath and sending the breath to release any parts of your body, particularly any muscles that we're not even aware that we're tightening. Send the breath to your forehead, your eyebrows, facial muscles. Maybe we just smile. Release the jaw. Sending the breath to the neck and the shoulders. Those are the most common areas where we hold, stretch, or really not the most common, but the ones we think about first, maybe the ones we feel first. But we hold a lot of stress in our hips and our abdomen and our legs and feet everywhere. So send breath. Maybe if you scan from head to toe, you may find that, that muscle is tight and I wasn't even aware of it. And just focus on the breathing, the ultimate yoga pose, Shavasana. We are the greatest thing that will ever happen to us. Believe it. It makes life much easier. When you're ready, bringing yourself back to your breath, breathing deeply and slowly, wiggling the fingers and toes, and taking your time, if you want, bringing yourself to seated. And feel free to bring hands to heart center. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace in our thoughts, peace in our words, peace in our heart. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. Peace out. We'll see you next time. And maybe I'll see some of you this afternoon, 4 o'clock dance. I haven't sent the invitations out yet, but be watching for it on Facebook. All right. I love you all. Bye.